afternoon and welcome to lesson 2 of our Healthy Bodies topic in science. And today we'll be thinking about exercise and how it links to our heart. So we're always told that to stay healthy we need to exercise, but what exactly does exercise do for our bodies and our minds? Can you think of some ways that exercise benefits us? Stop the video and jot down your ideas. Did you think of any of these? Well, first of all, the more we exercise, the stronger our muscles and bones will get, which is really, really important. Our muscles support our bones, so we need them to be strong. Exercise releases chemicals that makes us feel happy, called endorphins. It also helps us to stay flexible, which means we don't get so many aches and pains. Exercise helps us to relax and sleep better, especially if exercise is taken in the open air. It also helps us to maintain the correct weight. So if you've had a few sneaky chocolates one evening, you know if you go out for a brisk walk the next day, you've burnt off the calories in those chocolates. And actually, this does seem strange, but doing exercise improves your energy levels. If you're feeling quite lethargic and sleepy, if you go out for a nice walk or a cycle or a run or play some football or do some dancing, your energy levels will actually rise. Now, another benefit is if your exercise is part of a team sport, could be a running group, a dance troupe, football team, netball team, you improve your communication skills and you also widen your friendship circle. So exercise has huge benefits both physically and mentally. Can you note down any exercise you've done in the last week? Stop the video and note it down. Did you have any of these? This is what I've done in the last week, and I realise we're a little bit restricted at the moment. I've been trying to walk or cycle daily as my time outside the house. I've done Pilates online via Zoom, which is a bit like yoga. I wish that I could get into some of these poses, but I do try. I've done housework, getting a duster out or cleaning the windows, that's exercise. And while I was doing the housework, I also put on some very loud music and had a little dance. Now, one particular muscle that gets stronger when we exercise is our heart. The heart sits very near your lungs and it is actually one big muscle. It's actually a huge muscle. And what's strange about the heart is it never relaxes. It is always working. If we're sitting down, we're resting our leg muscles. And if we're sleeping, we're resting most of the muscles in our body. But our heart can't stop working because our heart has to beat to keep us alive. So that muscle works constantly. When we exercise, we make our hearts work harder. So therefore, we're exercising the heart muscle as well as the muscles in our body. Here's a question. How do you know your heart is working harder when you exercise? Well, fact of the matter is that your heart rate increases. But what exactly is your heart rate? Well, your heart rate is the number of times your heart beats every minute. It's also called your pulse, and it's measured in beats per minute, or BPM for short. How could you measure your own heart rate? Have a little think. So, how do you take your own heart rate? How do you check your pulse? Well, there's two places that are probably the easiest to find your pulse. And the first one is in your neck here. If you feel just in the middle of your chin and come down, you've got a lump there. Either side of that lump, if you put 2 fingers and just press very gently, can feel a very strong pulse there. If you can't feel it the first time, just move your fingers around a little bit, but certainly don't press too hard. The other place that you can find your pulse is on your wrist, and you'll find it on the thumb side. Again, get your 2 fingers and place them just beneath your thumb going into your wrist, and see if you can feel your pulse. I can feel mine there. You might have to move your fingers around a little bit before you actually pick it up. Some people find it easier to do it this way round, put their fingers that way. I can feel my pulse there. And in hospitals, when they take your pulse, if they need to do it manually with fingers, they would take your pulse for 15 seconds, which is a quarter of a minute, and then they would times that by 4 to find out how many beats in 1 whole minute. So if I take my pulse now, and I checked it earlier, my pulse was 20 beats in 15 seconds. So if I multiply 20 by 4, that would be 80 beats per minute. Most of the time in hospitals now they've got machines that they can pop on your finger and it takes the pulse for you. But this is a way you can take your pulse at home. Why not try this simple test? Take your resting heart rate, and this is your heart rate before any exercise, and record it. Now do some vigorous exercise, star jumps, laps of the garden. Then take your heart rate again and compare it. What happened to your heart rate? How much did it change by? You could also think about how else your body changed during and after the exercise. So, why does your heart rate increase when you exercise? Have a little think. Why does it get quicker? Well, when you exercise, your muscles need more oxygen and nutrients. The heart has to pump more quickly to transport the oxygen and nutrients around your body. So it's the heart's job to pump these around your body all the time. When you're exercising, you need more oxygen and more nutrients, so the heart has to increase and pump them more quickly. We're going to have a look at a video now which shows really clearly how our heart rate increases when we do exercise, and I've recruited Mr. Jackson to help us with this. When Mr. Jackson exercises on his bike indoors, he uses a heart rate monitor to check his heart rate throughout the exercise. He's actually got a really clever system here. He can clip his bike into a special stand, and when it's a really wet day outside, he can exercise in the lounge. So let's have a look at what the heart rate monitor is reading before Mr. Jackson starts pedalling. Now the heart rate monitor is showing lots of figures, but we're interested in the BPM, which is the beats per minute, and it's reading 65. So this is telling us that Mr. Jackson's heart is beating at 65 beats per minute before he has started his exercise. The BPM is on the right hand side, halfway down underneath the clock. So now I'm going to ask Mr. Jackson to start pedalling slowly, and we'll see if the heart rate changes. We've just been talking about the fact that when you exercise, your heart rate speeds up because you need to pump more blood around your body to get to your brain, your heart and your muscles. If we
look again at the heart rate monitor, we can see that the heart rate's already gone up to 93 and it's climbing steadily. If you could pedal a bit faster now, Mr. Jackson. So now he's speeding up what we call the cadence, so that's the number of pedal strokes you make per minute. So he's speeding that up and we're expecting to see that the heart rate is going to climb again. Let's have a look at the monitor. As you can see, the heart rate is now 106 and climbing steadily, and as he increases the speed, the heart rate's going up, 110, 111. Can you pedal really fast now? So now he's put the gears up and he's really pedalling quickly and he's making the pedalling much harder. Let's go back to the heart rate. The heart rate is now heading towards 120 and still climbing.
Your activity today is to design a lockdown circuit training session. So what you need to do is think about the circuit training that we do at school, and you've got to come up with about 6 or more exercises that you could do at home. Now you're going to have to be quite creative here because we do have equipment at school. However, not all of our circuit training exercises need equipment. You can do star jumps, you can do a plank, you can do shuttle runs. You know, if you want to get some tins of baked beans out the cupboard, you could use those as weights. You might want to do some press-ups, anything you can think of. But the exercises you choose must increase your heart rate. Circuit training is not about stretching or warming up. That's done before and after. Circuit training is about increasing your heart rate to strengthen your muscles in your heart and your body. How are you going to show us what you've done? Well, your choice. You could set up your circuit training exercises and send us a video of someone in your family completing them, or even you could ask someone to film you completing the exercises. And you could draw a plan of your exercises on paper with an explanation of how to complete each exercise. Now, a word of warning, please make sure you don't try anything that is dangerous or could harm you. I look forward to seeing your circuit training session.